How long did it take for you to finally accept that Haven is special? How do you deal with a family nga naay member nga naay Down syndrome? Unsa tong mga discrimination nga naagian nimo, Jo? Og makauban nato karon ang classmate sa high school og still a close friend of mine, ang tao nga ga-remind sa ako nga ang Ginoo na perminti sa ako ang kinabuhi og sa atoa. Dili na nako padugayen pa Johanna Babols Digasman. Hello, Jo.
Hi, Chit.
Hoy, Chit, gini mo tawag ko. You have 2 kids.
Yes.
Ang first ni mga baby is si Hannah.
Yes.
Hannah is already 7 years old?
11.
11 na di ay
12.
11 years old. Magdalaga na si Hannah.
Dalaga na siya just 2 weeks ago. But actually, she's not the eldest. Diba? As you can remember, I have for our first daughter pod, full term na namatay pod siya after I gave birth.
Right,
kasi cord coil. So basically si Haven is ika-third na siya na daughter. Pero living, ika-duha si Haven. She's the youngest.
Si Haven. Yes. Among your 2 kids, si Haven ang naay Down syndrome.
Yeah, Down syndrome.
When you were pregnant, did you ever feel anything unusual?
Wala gid ko na feel. Wala gid unusual, wala. Before gyud ko nanganak, I really told the doctor na that would be the last pregnancy I would want. Pag human akong panganak, gingnan ko sa doc sa kong OB na, Jo, are you sure na magpalaygate na ka? Ko, yes, doc. I am very sure. Ni anak gid ko sa iya ha. So, actually, okay. So, moto, saka ko niya gilaygate. Kato na, hours after, I was informed by the pediatrician na pangit pagid kaayo pagka-informed because I was told na abnormal daw akong anak.
Oh,
Ing anak gid siya pagka-break sa kuha.
Wait, that was a doctor nga nagsulti na?
Yes. During that time, pag-break sa kuha, wala pa kay nako siya, wala pa ni sink in. Dayon, right there and there. Because, double anesthesia kasi ko kay Haven. Of course, in denial pa ko at first. But hours after nga katong, ako na lang, nag-cease na ang effect sa anesthesia sa kuha. Nibangon gidayon ko. Knowing pag cesarean ka, it would take 24 hours after pa. But for me, because I know I need to see my daughter to confirm it myself. So, ma-imagine ko ni mga nagbitbit ko sa condextrose, onya, nakakasitor ko, kay syempre, giadto gidayon ko sa Nico to see my daughter. I just told the nurse na I want to see my daughter.
And then you saw your daughter?
Yes.
What came to mind?
At first, dili na ako ma-picture kasi wala po ko nag-research what is Down syndrome. Maliban ako, no, diba, kung unsa na sila. Ang only basis during that time was her eyes. Kasi pag ang normal daw na baby, pag bago siyang anak, level gid ang eye o ang ears. So, makita gid mga dili. Pero dili pa kay obvious nga ing anak nga di siya. So, kato na anak ko na, first thing came into my mind gani anak ko na, Lord, unsa na pod ni? Dili ko ninyo ma-blame because I lost my first daughter. So, I thought that was the worst. So, I know man God na katong pag-abot ni Haven, another challenge na pod ni, lahi na pod ni siya. Lahi na pod ni siya na challenge for me. So, kato lang, mo gid akong una question, Lord, ngano? What's this again? So, kato gid ang first ni came sa ko ang mind. So, dili gid easy. It took me, knowing my personality na istoryador gid kay ko, diba? I really love to talk, ana. But during that time, dili ko ni mga storya. Muhilak ra gid ko. I would go inside the bathroom, muhilak ra gid ko. Nya, to the point nga makana ko na, hala, mabuang naman siguro ko. Kay because wala gina kanang nakalitan ko, of course, kinsa guy mama na gusto na ingana, 'di ba? But as days pass by, you know, the Lord is speaking to me, ginatubag pod ko niya. Ginatagaan ko niya yung scenario pod na despite sa sitwasyon, napakoy dapat ipagpasalamat because of Haven.
So fast forward to Haven growing up. What's yung mga challenges at the job?
Hinay-hinay na gid kasi makita na nimo sa iya.
Ang development
yes,
sa...
obvious na. When you
Right.
say Down syndrome kasi, or trisomy 21, that's another term for them, na naging mga physical features. Kaya di ba, same man gina sila of features. Because, ganun pare-pare silang features because they have extra chromosomes. Mga ng trisomy 21. So, before pag gid siya nag 1-year-old pod, comes with her kasi is na ay disability. Pag DS gid kasi ang bata, na gid na disability na it's either normal sa ilaha is most of them is nagibangag sa heart. Weeks after or months after I gave birth to her, nag-check up me sa iyang pediatrician, ki-check siya, gi-auscultate siya, and nadunggan na ay abnormal beating of her heart. So I was referred to a cardiologist. So from there pod, giingnan ko na kailangan siya ito de echo to find out kung unsa nang murmur sa iyang heart. And she broke the news na ang doctor niya sa iyang cardiologist na naa siya tulo ka holes. Imagine 3 holes sa iyang heart. So as a mother, no, lain rag yun. Nakaala dyan ko, hala Lord, oy, I thought enough na DS siya. So naapag yung sumpay kay kasi naman ginatawag na newborn screen. After maanak ang baby, within 24 hours, newborn screen na siya na which is during that time I was praying na normal and normal gid siya tanan, thank God. But later na siya na find out na naday siya hole sa heart. So tulo pag yun. Dili lang gid siya isa. During those times gid no, wala jud ko'y laing kastorya ko'y. Si Lord ra gyud. Though yes, I have the support from friends, family, grabe gyud, overwhelming. But tinuod gyud na nga wala gyud tao maka-comfort sa imuha. Nobody gyud. Masking pag-pamilya, masking pag-spouse. But si Lord ra gyud.
You question God, like, why, ganun kanina pod, but did you ever hate Him when...
No. I never hate God because I always believe gyud since nagdako pod ko na Christian, naagi rason nga ginahatag na sa imo. And you just find your purpose. And this, I believe, is the purpose.
How long did it take for you to finally accept that Haven is special?
Believe it or not, 1 week lang.
Wow.
Ana gani ihamped niya ayang doctor na, kabalo ka ma'am, believe daw kayo siya sa ako because it only took me a week. Ang uban gid it take
Like,
years.
that was like a week nga fully, or
giving birth.
you were just convincing yourself that...
No.
So like fully na-embrace
gid. Gi-embrace gid ako siya, gidawat gid ako siya because if I will not accept her, who will? Ako dapat una, kaya ako ang mama. So 'di ba? So gidawat gid nako siya because as I've said, who will fight for her if I will not? So during the time, it was really a struggle. Lisod gid kaayo. Pero I really praise God gid na overcome gid nako siya.
Right.
But fears, of course, that's normal gid na unsaon na lang pag mudako ni siya, sumugo ni siya, mabuli ni siya, worse. Nuing ni siya mongoloid kana gid na term.
Right.
But giigon ako sa akong sarili, no. Because I will be the one to dictate to those people how they would treat my daughter. And I really thank God gud no because ako yung prayer magud kay Heaven was gusto na ko anak ko ka specific kay Lord na Lord, gusto ko every time na makakita kay Haven, they would not see her disability. But they would see her as a blessing. Nagikan gid sa imo kay at the end of the day, gihimo po siya sa Ginoo. Gihimo ni sila tanan sa Ginoo. Dili lang kita. I know sa standard sa tao, dili siya normal. But that is not God's standard. Lahi ang standard sa Ginoo. So mao gina always akong gina-inculcate sa akong mind. And eventually, and I want also na kato po mga parents, labi na ang mga mama, kay daghan gyud kay mga mama na nahibal-an ako nga dugay gyud kay acceptance sa ilaha. So maluoy ko sa mga bata because you expect other people would accept your son or your daughter nga ikaw mismo ginikanan, di mo madawat, di ba? So basically dapat unag yun.
How do you deal with a family nga naay member nga naay Down syndrome?
For me, no, wala gyud dapat special na treatment for them. Treat them as if they're a regular kid.
Yeah.
And kasi ana alam gud akong treatment kay Heaven. Tapos if ang dako lang gid mo matabang is for me no na not to say anything bad. Kana lang yun. Kasi it would not help manggod, especially the parent. Mo gina ang uban ginulis, naagi uban karon na dagko na ilahang mga anak na Down syndrome. Wala gid nila nagawas. Because of the fear na kana lagi makriticize sila, dili sila kadawat.
Was there ever a point in your life raising Haven that you felt like nag-sink in si mga ingan ani gid siya kalisod?
Wala gud ko. She is the biggest reason na I draw closer to God. So, gi-change gid ni Lord akong perception. Every time lagi na ita makita siya na, hala, lisuda ana no na.
Because that's how I see it.
Yes, na
That's how I see it.
But you know what, for me, I don't see her as a burden, but really a blessing. She's a bundle of joy, yun. She's our source of joy. Kami
By source of joy, it's like when you're with Haven or kamong family no nagatapok mo maybe sa inyong mga quality time sa room or magtanaw mong movie, how si mga behavior ni Haven nga murag that's really cute.
They are the sweetest manggod. So mo kiss na siya, moduol gina siya sa ko agid particularly sa ko agid na siya mohamag niya since wala siya hair. Ako agid ng buhok. Always iyang ginakisan, iyang ginaduol. Unya gusto gina siya pag matulog na siya, gusto gina niya ma-feel niya akong body nga tapad ni.
Wow.
So, ing-ana siya ka-clingy.
Sa imo lang, but what about sa iyang sister, si Hannah, or si iyang dad niya, si Joel?
Ana po siya, sweet po siya,
Sweet pod.
pero pag naako sa ako, agad na siya. Mana na gina sila na, mana gina yung ate nga, nganong, gina di daw po sa iya, nganong sa ako alon daw always. So, ing-ana ka-sweet, gyud ang mga DS. But, mo po na akong, dili po siguro tanan. But I always believe gyud no, nga ang character sa Down syndrome na bata magdepende gyud na siya kung giunsa siya pag-raise sa iyang mama o sa iyang family, kung unsa ilang ginapakita sa iyaha. Kay naagi DS na ba na bata pod na nakoy friend ni mention sa ko manglabay daw bato. Every time mo agi silang gawas sa balay manglabay bato. Ano ko nga no, because mao iyang way na magpapansin siya kay never in her life na nagawa siya ang balay. Never siya giuban sa iyang parents sa walaag. Kami manggod, mas ganahan gid mi na ilaag na mo si Heaven, expose na mo siya. Dili gyud na mo siya ginatago.
When you're the first time you took Haven in the public, Joe, was there ever a moment where people would stare at? What did you feel during those moments?
At first kanang ma-offend gid ka kasi ano ba gid nimo kung unsa magtan-aw ang mga tao no kung positively ba or negatively ilang pag-stare. But mo lagi na ako pud gid mismo sa sarili na no, wala mo kay dapat ikaulang. Why should I be? So mo ana gani sila na she's very blessed daw to have us as parents kay ing ana lagi gid daw mi ka proud sa iyaha. Because sa mo lagi nga maulaw man mi. Wala may dapat ikaulaw gyud. Because she's really a blessing. She's really a joy gyud sa entire family. Dili lang sa among family pati sa iyang mga pinsan, pinakapalangga gyud na siya. She's loved gyud not only by family but also with friends gyud.
Friends and relatives.
Every time even sa mall, makita na siya, naagi mo na naka-cute niya. Though I know naa pod gyud uban ano but dili ko nagadwell ato. Dili ko nagadwell sa negative.
But unsa tong mga discrimination nga naagian ni mo, Jo?
To the extent, nag-ingan siya na, ay, mongoloid siya, no? Nagi anak ko eh.
Harapan ni isulti si mo.
Madungog di mo. Nga, as a mother gid, no, dili gid ko magpaka-plastic pod nga natubag gid nako. Hinana siya ko, so, natay problema kung ingana siya. So, naulaw sila. Kay sometimes yun, di gid sometimes, oftentimes, daghan gid na. We're living in a cruel world.
Right.
But once kasi you would stand for her sa imong daughter or kinsa pa man, then they would sila ma-realize sila nga maulaw na sila afterwards. So ana gid dapat as a parent lagi wala gid laing mo defend. Ikaw gid una. I-accept gid nimo una. Kay dili gid nimo mabuhat kung 'di ba?
If dili, I mean, dili siguro siya totally ma-accept sa society if you as a parent do not accept your child first. I'd like to go back sa relationship nila ni Hannah and like within the family. How do you divide your attention to both of your kids? Hannah is still minor. Bata pa si Hannah, she's still 11. And then you have Haven with like I would say she also has special needs, right?
Yes.
Like how do you manage yung nana ba, like does Hannah feel nga kanang like sahay unfair because makita ba nato na sa movie no kanang may nana kanang naiuban nga na special needs niya mo'y mas matutukan and the sibling would feel bad, like nabay mga yung nana nga moments
Naagid.
kay Hannah?
Naagid, but ako alang yung always ginaingon sa iyaha is she should understand. Siya gid una since duha lang sila anak ko sa iyaha kung ingana pa ma-feel pa niya na ma-inferior siya kay Heaven. So lisod pud kaayo. Ang uban anak ko sa iya ikaw pud una mo accept sa iyaha. Kasi kung unsa imong treatment sa iyaha i-expect nimo ang lang tawo ana pud ang treatment sa iyaha. So kung dili nimo siya ma-accept, dili nimo dawaton, dili ka mo sabot, nilabi na ikaw lang iyang ate, who will do that for her? And I really thank God pod kay iyang ate is very responsible pod ug loving yun towards sa iyaha. She would really understand. Siya pod usay mami si Haven. Naapod siya sensitive pod siya sa needs sa iyang manghod.
Down syndrome is came from the word down. Actually came from the one who discovered or nag-describe first sa condition niya Down syndrome, si Mr. Langdon Down.
Okay.
Or Dr. Langdon Down. That's why it's called Down syndrome. So, it's a genetic disorder. So, meaning, at birth or even before birth, naana na siya. Sa tiyan pa lang sa mother, naana na ang kondisyon. Kaya lang, nagiging apparent or nagiging obvious paggawas na sa baby.
Okay.
So, ang mechanism gid ana, what happened is, during the kanang pag-meet gani sa sperm and egg sa mother and the father, pag-unite ana na mga cell division na nahitabo. So may mga aberrations na nahitabo during that process na ang very common na nahitabo is kanang sa chromosome 21, number 21 na ay naging extra.
Okay.
So sometimes hindi po kwapo or hindi po always maayo ang naay extra parang ana because mana ang na-produce niya kanang mga features of Down syndrome.
How exactly ang pagtrato sa pamilya nga naay Down syndrome?
First and foremost, dapat acceptance. Naagay acceptance to start with kasi maglisod ka paano i-deal ang isa ka bata nga na ay special need in the case of Down syndrome. For example, kung in the first place wala acceptance on the part of the parents or kung kinsa man ang mga members of family, you cannot understand. Dili nimo masabtan ang isa ka bata nga na ay nga nga kondisyon kung hindi nimo maintindihan. Diba? So, I think it has to start with, we recommend always kung naay bata nga naay Down syndrome, kasi at birth makita naman ang features Down syndrome. So, nag-recommend yun me early intervention. Hindi, for me on my part, kasi developmental pediatrician ako, so we are dealing more on iyahang development skills. But there's more than that. Kasi at birth pa lang, ang ang isa sa mga focus nato is the medical side.
Right.
Because ang Down syndrome, it's associated with a lot of medical problems on Chit.
Yes.
So, daghan sa ilahan na ay heart problem, ang iba may mga gastrointestinal problem, na ay mga eye problems, mga ana, or iba thyroid pa. Kay common man sa ilaha ang na ay hypothyroidism. So, we have to deal with that first at birth, and then eventually mag-follow yun ang developmental aspect. So, first is acceptance, and then parents or the family has to be involved in taking care when it comes to medical, developmental, or behavior problems sa bata. And with all the other children, kahit pa typical, meaning walay problem, I think ang isa put aside from the acceptance, we have to be proud of them sa atong family.
Term Mongoloid, Doc, because even until now, madunggan gihapon ni mga murag Mongoloid maning tawhana. Are there any laws nga naga-protect ani Doc sa mga people with Down syndrome in terms of discrimination?
There is a law that protects them. And also, kung bullying, like na mga good usahay nga mga words are used by people nga as a bully, as a term to bully. So, naman tayo anti-bullying law.
Yes.
Diba? So, pwede natin na ma-apply. Kaya lang, syempre, kung mga gagmay manggod ng mga bata nga, or even adults nga wala pa na-educate about that, usahay, it's just natural for them to say those words. To describe a person nga na ay disability based on how they look. Which is, hindi yun tama. I think our role nato, or ikaw mismo, because you are in social media, to educate people.
Exactly. It's really very offensive, and I could only feel what my friend Johanna could feel sometimes if ginatawag ninyo ang mga bata og Mongoloid. It's really very offensive. What advice can you give them in terms of dealing with friends and silingans nga naay Down syndrome?
No discrimination. We have to be compassionate. Ang compassion man good ang isa gyud, very important for us. No matter what other people are having, naaman na disability nga ni bata nga ni or wala ba, lahi ayahang batasan kaysa sa ato ang gina-expect or atong gusto. As much as possible, dapat wala gyud discrimination. So, compassion is very important.
But I don't think lisod ang compassion, Doc. Compassion, ma-practice mo na siya. If you're not really that compassionate, ma-practice mo na siya. I think it's just really more of, respect.
Yes.
If you have nothing good to say, just don't say anything at all. Ano na lang. If you cannot be
Compassion,
compassionate,
respect,
yes. So, if you can't be compassionate, just don't say anything na lang, just to be safe. Doc, thank you very much. If you could talk to her on the camera, what will be your message for Haven?
Haven, I know yun nun na in time, as of now, dili pa gini mo ni masabtan, but in time, as you grow, I pray na masabtan ni mo ni in time akong ginastorya sa imo ha. You know that how much I love you and I'm so proud of you, and I will stay with you and I will fight for you no matter what. So I pray good. We're praying your life yun every day is really a miracle for me, and you really are a great blessing, not only to me, to our family, but to those people around us. You're really a reminder of God's goodness and faithfulness, kid. And I love you again. And thank you for coming into my life, and thank you for influencing me to be a better person. So,
thanks, Joe. And I think the takeaway sa kaninga chit-chat, Joe, is that maski unsa pa ng condition sa bata,
yes,
every child is a blessing. That's no matter unsa sila, regardless kung unsa sila. And you are a blessing.
Thank you.
You're a blessing. I've
Thank
learned
you
a lot
for
from you.
this opportunity, and I hope as we've prayed earlier, may this encourage and inspire yun others, especially moms yun, no? Not only moms with Down syndrome, but moms with special needs, ilang mga anak ba? Na to really embrace them. They're really a great blessing from above.
Right.
Dapat ka na yun always ang nasa ilang mind.
So,
Thanks, God.
again, thank you very much, Jo.
And may you continue to inspire and be a blessing to others.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.